bienvenue, c'est la Modéliste, and I am so glad that you are back here in my channel. For today's video, I am going to teach you guys the pattern making process for the Crisscross Halter Bustier top. I specifically saw this from Cat's Eyes Megan, and I really fell in love with the design. This top was originally designed by Majorelle, and it's called the Tia Tie Closure Halter Top. So there's going to be two parts of this video. Part 1 is for the pattern making process, and part 2 is for the sewing video tutorial process. So this tutorial is from beginner to intermediate, so attention is a must. So what are you guys waiting for? Let's get this tutorial started. To start off, prepare a sufficient amount of pattern paper. On the left-hand side of your paper, trace here your basic torso block. But we will not trace the second dart. We are going to transfer its value on the side seam and on the main dart. Here is my basic torso, and as you can see, I did not trace the second dart, and I will transfer its value here on the side seam and here on my main dart. To do this, I will take my torso block and I will take the measurement of my second dart, so that's 2 centimeters. Next, from the side seam at the waistline, I am going to mark in 1 centimeter. From this mark, I am going to draw a slant line and a curved line blending toward the underarm and the hip line at the side seam. And this is our new side seam for the basic torso. For the main dart, I'm going to mark out 0.5 cm on each dart leg at the waist. From these marks, we draw the lines for the dart legs toward the bust point and the end of the dart at the hip. If you can see here on the right-hand side of the paper, I left a space. I'm going to trace here the same basic torso block, but only until the mid-hip line. And if you guys can see, I did not include the waist dart on the other half. We are only going to use the right torso for the neckline. Next, from the bust point, we are going to draw the bust radius. Get your compass and make it sure that the compass has the same measurement with your bust radius. Place the compass right directly on the bust point and draw the full circle. Our design will be completely dependent on the bust radius. From the bust radius on each dart leg, mark out 2/8 of an inch or half a centimeter. From these marks, draw 2 slant lines toward the bust point. From these 2 marks, draw 2 slightly curved lines blending toward the waist to complete our main dart. So completely disregard everything here inside of the dart. This will be your new dart. From the bust line at the side seam near the bust radius, mark up 6/8 of an inch or 2 centimeters. And connect these marks by drawing a straight line. And from this line, extend it a little until the bust radius. We are going to use this extended line here for our sewing notch reference. Next, from the new underarm side seam, mark in 2/8 of an inch or half a centimeter. From this mark, draw a slant line blending towards the waist at the side seam. From the bust line at the center front, mark up 4/8 of an inch or 1.27 centimeters. And connect these marks by drawing a straight line. Same thing for this one, this extended line right here will be our sewing notch reference. From the neck tip of the right hand side torso, mark in 4/8 of an inch. From the mark at the right hand side neckline, draw a line until the bust radius near the side front of our front torso. This is the crisscross halter neckline. From the cleavage over here at the center front, where we did our sewing notch reference near the bust radius, draw a line until the leg of the shoulder dart. Next, get the half measurement of the shoulder slope and mark it in. From this mark, draw a line until the bust point. Next, from the shoulder tip, draw a line until the bust point. From this line, mark out 4/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter. From this mark, draw another line towards the bust point. This contour is for the halter necklines to avoid caping. What I'm going to do next is I'm going to cut out the pattern from the neckline here at the center front, cutting here until the mid-hip line, to the side seam until the neckline. In between the dart legs of my main dart, I am going to slash through until the bust point. Next, I am going to close the shoulder dart permanently. Slash one of the dart legs until the bust point. Close the dart. And tape the dart in place, closing it permanently. Next, slash one of the lines of the halter contour until the bust point. Close the halter contour and tape it in place permanently. And redraw the halter neckline again. This is the center front pattern. This is the side front pattern. This is the waist dart, now the princess line. And this is the crisscross halter pattern, but this one is not finalized yet. Now let's work on the crisscross halter pattern. Next, slash this line here until the bust point and distribute the dart on this line. Slash through this line until the bust point, but not beyond. Close the bust dart permanently by taping it in place. Next, cut off this unnecessary part for the halter pattern. We won't be needing this anymore. Next, get another sufficient amount of pattern paper and place the halter pattern on the paper like so and tape the pattern permanently in place. From the sewing notch at the center front, draw a straight line upwards. And this line should blend on the shape of the bust radius. And do the same procedure on the other side of the pattern. Next, extend these two lines upward. Extend these lines for about 60 inches or 152 centimeters. The halter pattern will also serve as a tie closure for the back. And do not fret because this pattern should be long. Next, put your desired sewing allowance for the halter pattern. For me, I have put 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter of sewing allowance all around my pattern. And by the way, the width of this pattern is 5/3 inches or 13.6 centimeters. Also, do not forget to mark the important notches. By the way, I will cut this pattern on a scuba crepe stretch fabric. For the bustier panels, do not forget to indicate the important sewing notch references. I have also put 1 centimeter of sewing allowances all around on both panels, and 1 inch or 2.54 centimeters for the facing of my hem. For the bustier panels, I will cut these patterns ×4 on my fabric for the shell and the lining. And these are the final front patterns for the Crisscross Halter Bustier top. Next, get a sufficient amount of pattern paper for our back patterns. Place your back torso block on your paper and trace. And as you can see, I did not trace the second dart. I will transfer its value on the center back and side seam. To do this, get the value of the second dart. First, mark in the half value of the second dart on the side seam at the waist. From this mark, I'm going to draw a slant line and a curved line blending toward the underarm and the hip line at the side seam. And this is the new side seam. Next, mark in the half value of the second dart on the center back at the waist. From this mark, I'm going to draw a slant line and a curved line blending toward the chest line and the hip line at the center back. And this is the new center back. Next, from the bust line, mark up 6/8 of an inch or 2 centimeters. Next, connect these marks by drawing a straight line. Next, from the new back neckline at the side seam, mark in 2/8 of an inch or half a centimeter. From this mark, draw a slant line blending towards the waist. Next, from the new back neckline at the center back, mark in 2/8 of an inch or half a centimeter. From this mark, draw a slant line blending towards the waist. Next, cut out the pattern from the new neckline until the mid-hip line. And these are the patterns for the back. Next, put your desired sewing allowances for your patterns. All around on each panel, I have put 3/8 of an inch or 1 centimeter of sewing allowance. And on the hem, I have put 1 inch or 2.54 centimeters for the facing. And lastly, label the center back and the side back panels. And also, these panels should be cut on the fabric ×4 for the shell and the lining. By the way guys, keep your patterns and prepare it for the sewing tutorial or part 2 of this video. I will explain some new techniques on how to achieve this design. Anyway guys, I hope this tutorial gave you enough tips on how to create the patterns for the Crisscross Halter Bustier top. And if you have any questions, please do not hesitate to comment down below. And if you like this video, please give it a huge thumbs up. And if you super like this video, please give me a super thanks. And if you're not subscribed yet to my YouTube channel, Modéliste, make it sure to hit that subscribe button. And also follow me on my Facebook account called Modéliste. And I will see you guys again on the next tutorial. Al viento!